So I thought it'd be kind of fun to start a little series where I show some of the really horrible encounters I've had with all kinds of different things involving collecting for the Sega CD. And I guess first up would be manuals. So I pulled out some examples here of I think are kind of funny just because they're so bad. And I'll be going through other things like cases and whatnot, so you should see a few different segments for this show as I think of things to do for it. So I guess I'll start this off with some of the obvious and easy examples, which would be, let's see, we take a look here and we got codes in the back. Now if you're just in collecting for the game itself to play the game, then you're obviously not going to care about a lot of this stuff that I'm talking about. But it's still kind of interesting to see some of the stuff that people have done to their video games, sort of like with the Nintendo cartridges. Everybody wrote their names on the back of the cartridges, so unfortunately a lot of people actually wrote codes and stuff, not only for the Sega CD but for other systems. So it's kind of an annoyance when you're going for a collection set with my standards, and other people out there have pretty high standards too. So yeah, definitely codes written in the manuals suck. See, we have Wing Commander here, and Wing Commander for some reason was a manual that I always had trouble finding. I don't know if you can pick this up on the camera here, but there's discoloration that looks like brownish and stuff, and there's all kinds of wear on it and shit, and it actually stinks too. It smells like it's been in somebody's basement for 20 years or so. And when you get enough of these games into a room that stink, it'll start stinking up that room pretty quick. And then we move along to these other manuals, which have a missing registration card, which is another thing I typically ask a seller about. And some sellers are really picky when it comes to you asking them questions. If you ask them too many questions, you might get a negative response, like I've received a couple of times. Not many, but at least one that I can think of offhand, and so all these flaws and stuff that I've encountered, I ask about, and when you get all those questions at once, it can come across as you being extremely anal. So yeah, no registration cards, definitely a bummer. Missing pages. There's a Sylpheed right here with a missing registration card as well. It's kind of strange because some of these games didn't seem to come with a registration card inside of them, so that's kind of a mystery for me to figure out whether or not they came with any sort of registration card at all. I have seen like a loose registration card in some games, but it's just a matter of doing research and comparing notes with other Sega CD collectors out there, which are few and far between. Here we have another Wing Commander manual here, and as you can see here, the staples there for the booklet have rust in them, and the manual itself is wavy. That's because it was exposed to water. I mean, it's very obvious that it was exposed to some sort of water damage, and it stinks too, pretty bad. So all these pages are, they have bleed through ink, and it's just fucking horrible. So that definitely was disgusting. Another thing about these manuals is when you have them in a case, especially these heavier ones for like Wing Commander, these styrofoam pieces, they actually come in handy. I've seen some people use a different technique where they put in bubble foam like throughout the whole thing, and what it helps with is like I said, especially with these heavier manuals, It's not going to quite fit in there. But if you lay them down like this and put the manual in there without a foam to support it, it'll actually begin to warp the manual, and that can, you know, be annoying too. So if you stand them upright and generally have one of those foam pieces in there, you should be good to go. So that's what I do. And I actually even just switch the foam piece straight up like that instead of doing it horizontal. So I do it vertically. So yeah, so finding these foam pieces isn't always easy, but I have most of them in most of my games. And like I said, most of my games are upright anyway. So, and moving along to some of the absolutely horrible examples. Speaking of codes, you have this Sewer Shark pack-in manual, which, as you can see there, has just been scrawled all over the place. And right there, this guy's Brian, apparently. Brian, you're a dick. But he's probably like just a kid, so. But other than that, I mean, the manual seems to be in decent condition. There is some wear around the edge there that I try to look out for in all of my manuals, for the Sega CD at least. Yeah. And then we have cream of the crop right here, Brutal, Paws of Fury. This manual was also kind of difficult to find, and this is a Xerox copy of the game. So this was definitely interesting to get, to say the least. And it's taped instead of stapled right there. So yeah. Then we got an actual real Brutal Paws of Fury, which I was excited to get until, you know, I go to the back. Oh, there's no staples, and the registration card is missing. So that definitely sucked. I believe there's also, yeah, there's passwords in here too. Passwords and moves and shit like that. The game requires unlocking of abilities and stuff like that. So yeah, it took some looking to actually get that manual. And then we got this one was kind of a bummer to get, Fatal Fury Special, which is actually one of the more premium titles on the Sega CD. So finding a complete mint copy of this it's not the most expensive or rare title, but it's definitely one of the you know, top, you know, upper tier titles to get. So this one arrived, you know, not intact at all, and so that was kind of a bummer. There's no codes or anything because the moves and shit was already in there. So that, I think, is going to do it for my examples for the manuals, and so next time I'll talk about something else. So hope you enjoyed it, and if you're gonna write in one of these, let me show you how to do it right, okay?